Shalom, Shalom, Yasharala. It's your brother Yaradon with the Lions of Judah, Jeshurun, located in Chicago. And I want to start off by giving all praise to the Most High Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua. I double honors to the elders of the nation of Israel. And Shalom, peace and salutations to the brothers and the sisters, to the Akim and the Akwatim. Excuse me. To the Akim and the Akwatim that subscribe to this truth. All right. And we want to talk about Jacob's trouble, man. A great insurrection, man, against the people of the Lord, against the men of the Most High, who get out here and do this work, man, who preach and teach and sign cry against this wicked kingdom, all these wicked kingdoms across this planet, mainly here in America, you know what I'm saying, which is known in the Bible as Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon. We're gonna cry out and speak against this country, this wicked kingdom, you know. So coming up in these last days, man, it's gonna be an all-out war against the men of the Most High. All right, you're going to see all hell unleashed on the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. Mainly dealing with the ones who subscribe to this doctrine, man, to this truth, the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because when it all boils down to it, that's what all this mainly circulates around. The turmoil that you see in the world and the prophets getting out here prophesying, it all circulates and revolves around the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because we are here to magnify that name. We're here to magnify the name of the Most High, okay? And to wake the people up, man. Let the people know that it's a spiritual war that's going on. It's a spiritual war that's going on. And the war is against so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The war is against the children of the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into some of these scriptures right fast. I think try to be long. I'm gonna try not to be long, so like, all right, let me show my screen. All right, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 2. And it reads, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked," okay, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. So that's talking about the Illuminati, man, the so-called Illuminati. We really know it's the so-called white man, Esau, who's at the top of the Illuminati pyramid controlling the world. And we know that from okay, we know that from the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" Okay? So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Who runs the world? Okay? Who has complete dominance and control over the world right now to this day, man? It's the wicked. Okay? All right, so this is the book of Malachi, chapter 1 and verse 4. And it reads, "Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places, thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever." Okay? So that word indignation right there, it means righteous anger. So the Most High has righteous anger against this group of people forever. And that group of people, it says that we're going to call them the border of wickedness. Okay, so they're the wicked. Okay, the nation of Edom. The nation of Edom. Edom in the Hebrew is Adawam, meaning red, because they're not white. They're a nation of red people. Okay, and they come from Esau. Esau's name was changed to Edom. Esau in the ancient Paleo Hebrew is Ashwa, and it means wasted away, because he was born with what's the word, man? His genes, recessive. He was born with recessive genes, right? No melanin. Okay, blonde hair, blue eyes. He catches skin cancer, and melanoma cancer and dies at an alarming rate other than any other human. That's the curse that God put on the nation of Edom. Okay? Because they got that wicked spirit in them, that same spirit that was in Cain when he killed his brother Abel. You know, that same spirit, that serpent spirit, that wicked demonic spirit is in the nation of Edom, the so-called white men, all right, the red people. They the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, man. They covered the faces of the judges thereof. So that's why Psalm 64:2 says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay? Because the workers of iniquity are coming for the children of Israel. Okay? For the prophets, mainly, first and foremost. Okay? It's going to be an insurrection. And if you don't know what that word insurrection means, it means an uprising or against the government. It says a violent uprising against an authority or government. Okay, so we the prophets of the Most High, we the men of the Lord, we the government, we Zion, man, Mount Zion, Jeshurun. All right, Lions of Judah, we the men of the Lord, we the government right now, speaking for the Most High, crying out for our freedom. Okay, so there's going to be an insurrection against those who fear and keep the name of Yahweh Shah. All right, it says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Okay, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, and verse, I'm going to start at 2. And it reads, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. All right, so you got these nations of people out here, mainly the so-called white man starting off, he's the head honcho at the Illuminati round table. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. So all these people hate God, all right? All these names that I'm finna name off, I'm finna read out to you out the Bible. These nations of people hate God. All right, verse 3, it says, they have taken crafty counsel. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Okay, so they hate the Most High and they consulted against his people who he loved more than them. All right, if you didn't know, the Most High is a racist. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. Okay, this is the law. The first 5 books of the Bible, Deuteronomy, the Torah, Moses wrote it. Deuteronomy 7 and 6, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay? Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So that's why it says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. A tumult is an angry gathering. It says, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. Yeah, because the Most High made everybody fluky. He made the so-called white man with recessive genes. He made the Japanese and the Chinese, Moab and Ammon to be the retards of the earth. So these other nations, the African people, the so-called Africans, the Hamites, the Arab, man, all these nations hate the Most High because they don't have real gods. They have false gods. Okay, and we have the one true God and the one true power. It says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So this is what happened in the past. All right, this happened in the past. They want to come together and cut us off from being a nation. Verse 5 says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom first. Okay, the so-called white man is first on the list of the angry gathering round table, Illuminati, where the nations came together and said, let's cut these niggas off from being Israelites and call them black people. Okay, it said the tabernacles of Edom, which is the so-called white man, the Ishmaelites, which is the so-called Arab man, Moab, which is the so-called Chinese man, and the Hagarenes, which is Africans, okay, so-called Africans, Hamites, and so on and so forth. You got a couple of names of a couple of nations that came up against us to cut us out and to overthrow us so that they could establish world dominance under the banner of white supremacy. Okay? So that's why Ephesians 6 and 12 says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, man, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So yes, it's a war going on, man. It's a battle. Let's look into that word wrestle right there. It says, take part in a fight, either as sport or in earnest that involves grappling with one's opponent and trying to throw or force them to the ground, man. All right. So the so-called white man, right now, you see the Most High putting the spirit on his people, the prophets, to wrestle against the so-called spiritual wickedness that is in high places, and to bring down these wicked people, man, these wicked powers. Okay, the so-called border of wicked. I mean, it's like the border of wickedness. You know, because I just read that in Malachi 1 and 4 against spiritual wickedness in high places. Well, hey, the Most High said that the nation of Edom is the it say we shall call them the border of wickedness and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the nation of Edom, who is number one on the list to overthrow the nation of Israel, okay, hey, they the border of wickedness. They the ones who got the spiritual wickedness in high places. All right, because when you go back to Job, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. All right. Now let me get this is the book of Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 7. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. All right, so it's going to be an insurrection against the men of the Lord, man. They're going to come in, the enemy going to come in like a flood. All right, because the devil know he got a short time. The devil coming down to you with great wrath because he know he got a short time. His rulership is short, man. The spiritual demon Satan and the physical demon Satan, Esau. Okay? Both of these devils know that they're running out of time, so that's why the devil come against you and your man and tell you, no, don't receive this doctrine that he preaching. You ain't got time to read the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out here and keep the commandments. You know? So the devil coming against you and your man on the spiritual left-hand side, and then you got the so-called white man who was orchestrating all these things against the people, man.